So today we are going to discuss about the flame, the zone of a flame or the flame of a candle. So see here the picture of a candle flame. How does it looks? The flame is burning with bluish, yellowish, orange in color, and the candle is made up of wax. So how does the candle produces a flame? Do you know? Candle produces a flame with the help of wax. When the wax melt, it vaporizes and it comes at the wick, that is the cotton thread, and here in the presence of oxygen it produces a flame. So in this way the flame of candle produce. So come to the structure of a candle. See here the structure of candle flame. Three different parts are shown here. The dark zone, the luminous zone and non-luminous zone. Dark zone is the least hot, the black part, the bottom part, then the luminous zone in the middle which is yellowish color, it is moderately hot, and the non-luminous zone which is the bluish, the outermost zone, and it is the hottest part. And in a candle we have the thread that is called wick, and it is made up of, candle is made up of wax. So in this way we see the structure of a candle flame. Now before we discuss about the candle flame, let us see some activities given in page number 83. So come to the activity, page number 83. So it is given here the activity to show that vapors are essential to produce a flame. So what are the material required? A candle, a piece of coal, a china dish, and a matchbox. So take a candle, burn it, and also take a piece of coal and burn it in a china dish. What you will see? You will see that candle is burning with a flame, whereas coal is not burning with flame, it is burning without a flame. So that means the fuels can burn, but with flame or without flame. So how the flame is produced? It is written here, the substance which emits vapors while burning produces flame. For example, candle, LPG, etc. they produces a flame. So in a candle, when the candle burns, the wax around it melts and get vaporized, and the vaporized molten wax move upward up to the wick due to the capillary action. What is capillary action? Capillary action means the upward movement by which the liquid moves up, so against the force of gravity. So the vapors then burn in the presence of oxygen or air and then produces a flame. In the same way, in the case of LPG in cylinder, it is in the form of liquid state. The fuel is in the form of liquid state. But when pressure decreases, it changes to the gaseous state, and when it comes out, it comes out in the form of gas, and then it produces a flame. So in this way we can say the substance which emits vapors while burning produce flame, whereas coal does not produce vapors. That's why it does not produce a flame. So come to the page number 83, 84, the flame, fuels and the pollutant formed after combustion. So what is flame? Flame is the region where the combustion of the fuels takes place. Now let us come to the zone of flame. Already we have discussed the activity. So come to the zone of flame. Zone means the area. A candle flame is divided into three zones. Here, see here. The zones of the flame. The dark zone, the luminous zone, and the non-luminous zone, the outermost part. So dark zone is the blackest part. It is the yellowish part, and it is the invisible part, that is the bluish part. So come to the first, that is the intermediate, or it is the innermost zone, not intermediate zone. It is called as the innermost, INN, innermost zone. So you write innermost zone, the dark zone, and it is called as the no combustion area, where the no combustion takes place. It is dark black in color. It consists of the unburned wax, and no combustion takes place. Why? Because due to the lack of oxygen, no oxygen is present here. So it is known as the zone of no combustion, and it is the least hot zone of the flame. So dark zone is called as the least hot zone. It is the innermost zone. There is no combustion. Why? Because there is no oxygen. So only the wax melt and they just unburn, and it is known as that's why it looks like the black in color. Next is the middle zone, the luminous zone. So middle zone or the luminous zone is called as incomplete or partial combustion. So in this region, partial combustion takes place due to the insufficient supply of oxygen. So oxygen is insufficient here, and as a result the wax starts burning with a yellowish flame. Some unburned carbon particles present in the zone become red hot and impart yellow color. That's why it is called as the brightest, since it has the yellowish color. And this region is moderately hot. This region is called as the moderately hot, and it is also called the luminous zone or zone of partial combustion or incomplete combustion. Zone of incomplete combustion. Now come to the outermost zone, that is called the non-luminous zone of complete combustion. Since here sufficient amount of oxygen is present and it is invisible part, it is fairly invisible and transparent blue in color. Transparent blue in color. So in this region the complete combustion of wax takes place with a blue colored flame. So wax burns to produce heat, carbon dioxide and water vapor. It is the hottest region of the candle flame, and it is known as the non-luminous part or zone of complete combustion. When you put your hand there, you will feel so much of hotness. So why the goldsmith blow the outermost zone of a flame with a metallic blowpipe? To melt the gold and silver piece, because it is the hottest zone. Here the oxygen is present sufficient, and due to which here the carbon particles burns completely to produce the bluish invisible flame. So in this way the goldsmith uses this area and they melt the gold and silver pieces to form the different desired shape. So blowing air helps in the rapid combustion of unburned fuels and make the flame hotter, sufficient to melt gold and silver. Underline this line. Blowing air combustion of unburned fuels and make the flame hotter and sufficient to melt the gold and silver. Now come to the fuels. So I think you have understood about the three different zones of the flame. There is another zone that is called a dark zone. So dark zone is just present at the base of the wick. Closer to the wick here, the carbon monoxide burns to produce the carbon dioxide. Now come to the fuels. The substance that burns to produce energy, which is used to do some useful work, is called the fuels. And on the basis of their physical state, they are grouped into three categories: solid fuels, liquid fuels and the gaseous fuels. So come to the three different types of the fuels: solid, liquid and the gaseous fuels. The fuels like wood, coal, coke and the cow dung, cake, which exist in solid state, is called at room temperature, are called solid fuels. Liquid fuels, fuels like oil, alcohol, petrol and diesel, which exist in liquid state at room temperature, are called the liquid fuels. And the gaseous fuels, the fuels like natural gas, biogas and petroleum gas, which exist in the gaseous state at room temperature, are called the gaseous fuels. So in this way we can say that the fuels are of three types: solid, liquid and gaseous fuels. That's all for today.